coming off a game like that?
Yeah, absolutely. But obviously excited about the win that we had. Really excited about the way the defense played. But I guess more excited of the fact that our defense was on the field at a critical time at the end of a game to put the game away. And that was something that our guys needed, because belief starts to stick. And I've said this to you guys before, belief is a powerful drug. So that's something that we got to continue to do. And I'm proud of the way our guys fought. I'm proud of the energy, the execution, just overall, the sideline. It was outstanding. And this has got to be one of the better games we've had since I've been here. So I'm looking forward to more games like that. And man, just continue to look forward to practice so we can continue to just get better.
Obviously, it never gets easier in the NFL, and Justin Fields in Chicago's playing some pretty darn good ball right now.
Yeah.
4 straight games of 225-plus yards. Just when you throw that on, how impressive is that? That you know that's what they're going to do, and then you're still able to do it.
Yeah, I think the one thing that's really impressive about how they operated, because they went through the season the first couple of games, and I don't know if things were going as well as they wanted to. But just like any other team, I think they adjusted. I think over the past 3 weeks, they adjusted on how they operate with this quarterback, and he's playing at a high level right now. And I would say in the run and really in the pass game, when you think about it, man, he's not getting the yards that you would want, but he's being efficient with what he's doing. And I would tell you what, these two backs they have, I mean, they're really good now. They're really, really good. And the thing is, they break tackles, they can find a seam. So we really have to be disciplined. That's the one thing that I talked to our guys about yesterday for a while. It's just our discipline, because that's what this type of game is. It's a disciplined game, especially when you're playing option football against a really good quarterback that can run. So, man, that has to be something that we focus in on a daily basis, just being disciplined in our approach.
I wanted to ask about Jerry, more so than his performance. What is his fiery demeanor, his competitiveness, his approach down in and down out? What does that do for a defense?
Well, first of all, I mean, God made him that way. That's just who he is as a person. And I think it's a really good trait to have as a corner. Regardless of what happens with that player, he gets beat, he makes a play, he has the same demeanor. He's going to get up in your face and he's going to challenge you. But it's always good to have a guy like that on your defense, because he builds up the morale of everybody else, because it doesn't matter what happens to him. Like I said before, man, he's always going to challenge. And he did that in the game. You know, that's what he brings to this defense. So we look forward to him continuing to get better. We look forward to him continue to get better as far as his ACL is concerned, and you just continue to see him play more and more.
Talked about that belief being a powerful drug. You know, you have said that before.
Yeah.
Did you see it all last year too? You know, when you started, there were a few games there down the
Yeah,
stretch.
we really did. We really did. And I mean, I'm hoping that sparks the same type of energy and execution within with our group in totality. So you saw it yesterday in practice. I'm sure we're going to see it today in practice, and I'm sure it's going to carry over to Sunday within the game. So regardless of who we have out there, man, listen, we have injuries just like everybody else. But I think the guys that's behind us coming in and playing are really understanding that and understand they have a job to do. And we expect them to do their job as best they can.
So can you describe it? Like, how do you see it? Are they just walking a little more proud? You know, they chirp a little bit more, like when you.
I don't think it's that. You can just tell by the body language. You just watch on the field, and body language tells you a lot. Players and coaches, you know, so and that permeates throughout the defense. When you have that body language, you have that swagger within yourself, you have that look in your eye when you go out there and play defense. So regardless of what happens, turnover, big play, it doesn't matter. And this one thing that I've taught our guys: anytime we have a turnover, man, that's just more TV time for us. All right, so we get on the field, we get ready to play. And you saw that happen with our guys. Any situation that happened, they went out there and they played their butts off.
How tough is it to prepare for a guy like Chase when you really don't know how they're going to use him and you know who the player is from his history, the size, obviously 6'4", 230, but just how he fits into that offense when there's not a big sample size.
Yeah.
How tough is that to prepare for?
Well, the thing is, we know who he is, his traits as far as a player, size, speed, some of the things that he did when he was in Pittsburgh. He was a pretty good deep ball catcher. But, man, that's damn near everybody in this league now. You know, so we understand that. I mean, Lazard was a deep ball guy, which he made some plays. So we operate as normal. We understand what we have to do to cover this guy, and our guys do their best, all right, to make sure that they minimize their weaknesses and don't allow him to show his strong points.
When it comes to not rushing past the quarterback, that's something we've heard multiple times, and obviously critically important this week. How difficult is that to coaching the guys, particularly young guys, to not, get too far in the depth of their rush?
Obviously, you saw it last week. It's very difficult. But I would say this, you have to emphasize that as much as possible. And sometimes it comes with a loud voice and a demanding demeanor behind you to make sure guys understand that. Because I get it. Once you get a chance to try to beat someone on the edge, man, you're going to continue to go. But I talked to our guys about this morning, man. We have to play the type of game we need to play to win. And that changes. So in saying that, man, we have to make sure that we condense the pocket, man, make sure we push the pocket. All right. And that we equate to getting sacks for the most part. I think Green Bay did a pretty good job of doing that. Even though they weren't speed rushing around the edge, man, they really condensed the pocket and they kept them in this cage, and they were able to make plays and get sacks.
So it really starts with the initial plan, the first steps. Because I imagine once you get engaged with a guy, it's kind of probably tough to know where you are in the field. So it's really about your pre-snap plan.
That's why your eyes are important in that situation. Once you feel yourself about to get ahead of the quarterback, man, you have to retrace and make sure you keep him in that cage. And understand the quarterback's drop too. Those are some things that we talk about quite a bit. And our guys understand that. So within getting into the rush, those are things you just have to understand. So, and I think our guys will do a good job of that.
What did it mean for you to get that game ball last week, just, after everything that happened, not just last week with Aubrey, but the first 7 games of the season, and to get the reception that you did from the players?
It was shocking, to be honest with you. And I guess shocking because, for a defensive coordinator to get a game ball, I was very appreciative. But I tell you what, I was really more appreciative of the players than anything else. Because it shows the belief that they have, and not only me, but us as a defensive staff. But, man, all the credit goes to those guys. There was a number of guys that made some great plays in that game. It's to see our young guys, the way they're coming out and the way they're playing, it's good to see, because they can only get better. And we have a really good group, good nucleus of young guys that you can build around here. And, man, really try to change the mindset of how they go about doing things. And you continue to see that happen, with all those guys. So, man, this is a process. No one said this was going to be easy. I know everyone on the outside thinks that we should be going to the Super Bowl right now. We think that too, but the thing is we understand that, man, we got to build this thing. We got to build it the right way. And that's where our focus is. It's not focused on what everybody else is thinking. Man, we have a plan, and we're going to execute that plan. And as we continue to grow, these young guys are going to grow with us.
Did it matter at all to get people off your back? People talking about,
Man, listen, I told you last week, nothing surprises me. That's you guys' job, though. The negative part is what sells in this business. And I get that, so AG going to keep on rolling.
Just kind of going off of that, on a personal standpoint, you told us the story about you and your wife going to dinner, I think after Seattle, and then fast forward to that locker room celebration. Personally, what does that win and that performance mean to you as their coach?
What does that win? First off, it's it means a lot anytime you win, man. But the expectations is we got to win more, And I don't want to say I'm a nonchalant type of guy, But man, it's time to move on and get to the next one, because we have a really good opponent coming in that's playing really good on offense. So man, it was quickly to put that behind me and going to Chicago right, immediately after the game. And this is just something I do. After we go to dinner, I come right to the facility and start on Chicago. So man, I'm looking forward to this one. I really am, because it's a different dynamic as far as a quarterback, as far as team that we have to show. I'm excited about showing what we can do against this team.
I know you have respect for Dan and
Yeah.
his decisions, but I'm just wondering your response to the argument that maybe your defense's job or your job is easier if a team is forced to go 90 yards instead of going 60 yards by going for it on fourth down.
Say that again?
Yeah, the team went for it on fourth down, didn't get it, so.
To my all team.
Yeah, Green Bay. Green Bay had to go for it on fourth down, so there's an argument to be made to punt the ball, and I'm just wondering your stance on that, maybe making the.
Man, I coach
opposing
defense.
offense go further.
I coach defense. And regardless, I mean, if we got to be out there, whatever down, we go play. That's all we think about. And I don't know if you're asking me about our team going for it on fourth down. I mean,
I'm asking if the Lions don't go for it on fourth down and force the opponent to go further down the field, your job's easier.
I coach defense. We go play.
What's your assessment so far? I mean, we saw how highly you spoke of Aiden entering the season. He's had his high moments, he's had his moments where he's learned a lot. I guess, what's your assessment through 7 games? I think you said you needed 4 to kind of really see how the defense would be, how you would play.
Yeah.
What areas have you saw him thrive in, and what areas can you still continue to see improve in? And as a staff, how are y'all helping him do that?
You know what? I think the one thing that Aiden's done a really good job of is buying into some of the things that we want to get done. That can be technically, that can be scheme-wise, and also being able to listen to him on some things that he likes also. And I think you do that with every player, and I think that's the new way. That's the new age of listen to the player and letting them have input. Now, do we install all those things? No, we don't. All right, but it's good to hear them out. But man, you just talk about the discipline part. Now, he messed up on some couple of plays last week. I mean, when he got out, Rodgers got out on that scramble. That was Aiden made a mistake on that one. But there aren't too many times where he make the same mistake, and that's a trait that he has. No one coached him on that. That's just what he's good at doing. But it's pass rush on the edge. We're starting to put him in the interior, quite a bit. We didn't get to as much as we wanted to in this past game, but you'll start to see that. But that want-to as far as him being inside, because I know he likes being on the edge, but now I think you'll see him do some pretty good things on the inside also. So those are things that he's steady improving on, and I'm excited to see him in those situations.